Welcome to the discussion on how effective is fossil fuel investment movement in speeding up action on climate change. Our speakers on the subject tonight are Blair Palese and Professor Christopher Wright. Blair Palese is the co-founder and CEO of 350.org and a board member of Greenpeace Australia Pacific. Blair's past activities include communication advisor at Arctic Ocean Alliance, committee member at the Human Rights Watch, and independent chair at the Green Building Council of Australia. Blair has also worked in the United Kingdom and the United States in senior management roles for Greenpeace International.
If you don't mind indulging me for just a minute, I thought this might be just a little bit of fun. I'm just going to read out for you a little list, and then I'll talk to you about the context of that list. So funds: the Rockefeller Brothers Fund, the Norwegian Sovereign Fund, the British Medical Association, the Council of Canadians, Doctors for Environment Australia, Guardian Media Group, Cities Councils, Seattle, San Francisco, Portland, Berkeley, Oakland, Santa Monica, Boulder, Ithaca, Cambridge, Dunedin, New Zealand, Orebro, Sweden, Oxford, UK, Moreland, Victoria, Boxtel, the Netherlands, Fremantle, WA, Marrickville, Leichhardt, Lismore, Shire of Goomalling, WA, Stanford University, University of Glasgow, the New School in New York, Syracuse University, SOAS University of London, the College of the Marshall Islands, Victoria University, Wellington, New Zealand, Sydney Uni, ANU, the Uniting Church of Australia, the Church of Sweden, the World Council of Churches, 9 Anglican Dioceses of New Zealand and Australia, the US Church of Christ, the Quakers of Britain and Australia, the Papal Encyclia, ? Foundations: Sierra Club Foundation, the Wallace Global Fund, David Suzuki Fund, Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream Foundation. Good, huh? And also 7 foundations in Australia, Desmond Tutu, the UNFCCC, Ban Ki-moon, Al Gore, Naomi Klein, Mary Robinson, Christiana Figueres of the UNFCCC, Jim Yong Kim of the World Bank, and HSBC. These are all organizations who have divested from fossil fuel in some way or another. They may have decided to divest all of their funds and investments from all of fossil fuel. They might have selected a handful of companies, but all of them have taken a specific step on the basis that they think it's the wrong thing to be invested in fossil fuels. And it's a powerful group. So just to tell you again, that's altogether 28 universities, 75 religious organizations, 23 funds, 42 cities and councils. And that's just the start of what now is the fastest moving divestment campaign in the world. And there's a great deal of momentum and more to come, probably in the next weeks and certainly in the next couple of years. So as Christopher said, we know that 80% of what we have, fossil fuel reserves, has to stay in the ground. It's a pretty terrifying prospect when you know that every major company involved in those fossil fuels wants to get them out of the ground, sell them, and really don't care after that. Once they've made their money, burning them and causing climate change is considered by and large not their problem. In Australia, it's a real problem for us. We have one of the largest reserves of coal and gas in the world, and 9 mega mines planned for the Galilee Basin, and thousands of new gas mines all planned on the books. And if we burn and succeed in developing all of those projects, Australia alone will tip the carbon budget. It's pretty terrifying. So Australia now holds the fate of the world's climate in its hands, and most people don't even talk about it. They don't know it, they don't think about it, and they certainly don't take responsibility for it. So what are we going to do to change that? There's a lot of power and money involved in all of those companies, and there's a huge sense of inertia. We can't change it, we can't shift it. It involves too many powerful players with money. What we can do, we can divest our money. We can find ways to move our money, to tell these outfits that we're not going to put our money in them. We're going to tell it to our banks, our super funds, our churches, our councils, anything we have any connection to invested money, universities, etc. It's the public frustration that's driven action on climate change and the lack of political policy to respond to what we clearly have known for at least 20 to 30 years. We need to shift off of fossil fuels to clean energy. If we'd started to do that 25, 30 years ago, it would pretty much be a painless process. But we chose, through the power of these companies, to say it can't be done, and we've let it ride. And now we're staring down a frustrating and challenging 2 to 5 years in which, really, if we don't make the shift, we will all be in serious trouble. We've already seen, and Christopher's mentioned, the weather impacts that we're seeing happening all over the world. And it's starting here in Australia, very clearly has already through bushfires, heat waves, cyclones, etc. The impacts can be catastrophic and the cost astronomical. So what have people done? They've said, I'm not getting any action out of my government, I'm going to move my money. And they've done it collectively, they've done it individually, and they've been extremely effective at doing it very, very quickly. So as Christopher said, it's more about the stigmatization of the fossil fuel industry and those who invest openly in it and talk it up as an ongoing growing concern. And that stigmatization can't be underestimated if you look at the impacts of a whole range of campaigns, like apartheid, where shifts were made based solely on the fact that people move their money for a moral cause. And fossil-free divestment is really the first step. After that, our next step, and we've started to work on it both in the US and here in Australia, is to encourage people to actually put that money back in, or a portion of it, into some of the solutions. And I've never seen more excitement than that of Elon Musk's announcement about the solar battery storage, a new element of his campaign. Suddenly, investors are flocking toward Tesla to look at, this is one of the first companies that's really decided, we're going to make our name on this, we're going to make our fortune on it, and we're going to bring people along with us. So more and more people are interested in it as a company, interested in investing in it, and there are hundreds and hundreds of companies that we can support in that way. In addition, I think one of the clear things that I find most exciting about this and how fast it's moving is the opportunity it offers, not only for people to get involved and actively be part of that shift away from top-down decisions about our energy and top-down decisions about our politics, but how they can actively get involved by not only moving their money, but being involved in things like community energy projects, renewable projects. They're springing up in Australia and all over the world, and it's a side effect of the same kind of frustration and desire to act that we see through the divestment movement. So right ahead of us, at the end of November, is the start of the last potential UNFCCC meeting that in, I think, the time frame we have to solve this crisis, to get an agreement happening globally. Australia will trot off and try everything it can to make sure we don't get an agreement. And we all have to live with that. And if it doesn't mean getting on the phone and telling your politicians it's unacceptable, we want to be part of the solution, we want to be part of the new economy that will spring out of the move from money and investment into clean energy and the new energy economy, then nothing will. I mean, it is the global issue of our time, and we, Australia, is on the wrong side of history. We're one of 2 countries, it's us and Canada. The rest of the world is moving. So I encourage you to get involved. Move your money, look for the opportunities to get involved, make those phone calls. And just 2 things to name in particular. If you're interested in divestment, Go Fossil Free is the website. You can see all the activities going on, all the countries taking part, and who's committed to making those shifts. And next week, 350 and about 3 dozen other organizations are organizing specifically to focus on the Commonwealth Bank. It's the most likely bank to invest in the first terrifying of the 9 megamines up in Queensland, the Adani Carmichael mine. If that first mine gets off and running, we really do have to question where our loyalties lie in terms of our own future. Because this mine threatens to open up an entire new region with a rail line and shipping through the Great Barrier Reef of coal in an area where not only can we not afford it, it's coal at this point in time is so cheap that it's not economically viable, but the world simply can't burn any more coal. So why produce new mines that will cost millions of dollars to develop? And Combank is leading, apparently, the charge. So watch this space. There's a rumor that tomorrow they will make an announcement. If you're with Commonwealth Bank, get on the phone and call your branch. Tell them you're furious. It's just the craziest kind of investment you can possibly imagine. Adani is not a reputable company. It's got environmental and human rights things against its name in India and internationally. And Australia shouldn't be turning over its Great Barrier Reef to a company like it. So tomorrow, raise the heat. Watch for Commonwealth Bank, and next week there'll be activities at branches in 50 places around the country. So please join us for one of those events. This can be a very depressing topic, but it's also very exciting. It could give us the opportunity to change things in a way that allow people to be much more actively involved. Divestment is just the first step. So thanks for coming tonight. It's a cold night. It's not a nice night to come out. Both Christopher and I appreciate you taking time to think about it, and we look forward to any questions you have. Thank you.